Hey everyone, welcome to Anagram City, the most sustainable city ever designed. First, we will introduce our city plan with the layout or map of Anagram. So here, as you can see, we have a recycle plant, a poo-poo plant, aka a waste management plant, a water filtration site, compost site, trash. We have 2 wind and solar power plants, a transportation facility, and 2 very beautiful lakes. We also have many houses, some businesses, train and bus stations, parks, EMT/fire buildings, police, hospitals, cemeteries, K through 12 schools, universities, and the City Hall/historic building. The first topic we will discuss is food and agriculture and forest resources.
Since we all need food to survive, we believe food and agriculture are extremely important since we want to ensure our citizens are well fed and that they are being provided the right foods. Malnutrition is a big problem in the U.S. because of the large amounts of processed food consumed. In fact, almost 13% of homes in the U.S. are food insecure. Forest resources are also extremely important since wood is used in many products, homes, furniture, etc., and we need to make sure that the wood is being sourced sustainably. Humans are largely responsible for many of the problems that arise in agriculture/food sources. Some examples of these problems include deforestation, which can result in floods, degradation, rise in CO2 levels, destruction of shelter for animals, and much more. Along with this, overfishing and hunting leads to a multitude of problems. Taking away immense amounts of animals from a certain area can cause extreme environmental problems and food web issues, since that animal was most likely food for another animal. Lastly, large products of crops and animals can lead to an easy spread of diseases. Use of pesticides and antibiotics is harmful to consumers, and genetic modification is extremely harmful to the biodiversity of our planet. Here at Anagram City, we look to combat these problems by making sure all grocery stores have locally grown organic produce. We also have a farming program where people can learn how to grow their own food at home, as well as volunteer to work on our community farms located at each park in our city. Finally, we will make deals with the other towns and cities that have wood farms where they use selective cutting to harvest the wood, and we will offer this wood at a cheap price to our citizens to encourage them to use the sustainably farmed wood.
The next thing we'd like to take a look at is our recycling/trash plans. Planning this out is extremely important because recycling can in turn be energy efficient because it takes less energy to use recycled materials than it does to use raw materials and make all new products. Recycling also reduces the amount of trash in landfills because the waste is being reduced. Lastly, recycling can reduce the amount of mining needed to make new products, so it easily has a very large positive impact on the environment. Humans have greatly impacted the use of plastic since, well, we made plastic. But this creation and lack of recycling leads to problems like plastic pollution, overfilled landfills with items that do not biodegrade, and poor health for humans and animals due to microplastics found in our food, water, and in the air. Anagram focuses on creating new ways to do trash to fix the problem. One way is integrating compost bins, just like trash bins in each home. People will throw away their leftover foods, eggshells, and any other compostable items. This will all go to the compost site and will be recycled into fertilizer, which the government will sell back to the people for a profit. Next, our city will have all recycle bins labeled so everyone knows exactly what to put in there. There will no longer be the question of, oh, where does this go? Because when people usually have that question, they end up just throwing it into the trash. And that is exactly what we want to avoid. Lastly, there will be a tax on trash, so if a household makes more than £1 per person per week, they will be taxed. Businesses will be taxed as well, but not hospitals, EMT, fire, and police.
Next, we have our green buildings plan. Making homes energy efficient isn't super hard, and adding small features to homes have many proven benefits like decreased energy consumption, decrease in greenhouse effect, and much less energy consumption for the user. Anagram City will implement green roofs on half of the buildings. Green roofs are roofs covered in vegetation, trees, and plants, and it cuts down on the amount of greenhouse gases because the plants consume the CO2 and turn it into O2. Green roofs have also been proven to reduce the amount of stormwater runoff and cut down on the heat in cities. Along with this, buildings in Anagram are built to use the sun's energy to its advantage through the use of things like heat-conducting floors for the cold winters and awnings/roofs so the sun will not hit them in the summer months, and more things like solar panels.
Now we will talk about our plan for water. Not only do we need to drink water every day, but we also need it for things such as agriculture, industry, and everyday use. But we only have a limited amount of water to go around. We will have to be careful about how much we use, how we use it, and how we treat it. Water pollution is such a huge problem. It stems from neglecting to consider how our actions affect other systems. We have other plans set in place to help reduce the amount of pollution as possible. As I mentioned before, water availability is also a problem. There is only so much fresh water to go around, so we need to be very careful with how much we use. Finally, our water supply affects the overall health of our people. If we supply them bad water, they will have to suffer with bad health, and we want our citizens to be as healthy as possible. Anagram City plans on saving water supply by implementing toilets that do not require water to flush. In a low flush toilet, one flush uses 1.6 gallons of water. If the average person flushes about 5 times per day, that is 8 gallons of water wasted that we cannot use. Now imagine that with just 500 citizens. That's a lot of water. By having no water toilets, we will save a lot of water. We are also going to have timers built into the showers. It will not be a strict mandate, but it will be a good reminder to our citizens. Finally, we will be collecting and reusing gray water. Gray water comes from things like showers, laundry, and sinks. This water can be reused in irrigation, which can save us a lot of our precious resources.
Next, the dreaded topic, sewage. Well, we aren't afraid to talk about fecal matter, so let's jump right into it. With the proper sewage treatment, a city will prosper since water pollution is such a huge problem with many sewage treatment plants. Not only that, but human fecal matter has led to so many water crises and has made many diseases spread fast. Anagram has a very unique look at fecal matter. We like to use it to our advantage. First of all, as stated before, all toilets will be water-free. With this, storage tanks will be placed on each block and the sewage trucks will come and transport it to the facility. Once in the facility, solid and liquid waste will be separated using filters. Then both of the waste matters will be heated using electricity to kill off any bacteria. Number 1 will then be used for watering plants in the parks, not food-producing plants. And number 2 will be added to the compost facility.
Next, we will talk about transportation. Transportation is one of the most important things to our citizens' lives. It's how they get from point A to point B. Without transportation, it would be much more difficult for people to go to work, school, and other places that they need to go. The only problem is transportation can have a lot of negative effects. Not only does it pollute the air, but it can destroy ecosystems. Also, when there are large amounts of people, there's a lot of congestion, and with congestion comes traffic, and traffic leads to more pollution and a lot of unhappy citizens. It can be a mess. Instead of falling into the trap of highways, Anagram City will build sidewalks and crosswalks to encourage walking. Also, we have built the city so that most things are within walking or biking distance. Along with that, we will provide bike paths, bike stores, bike rentals, and bike racks. Not only will this improve the air quality for our city, but it will also provide opportunities for our citizens to be active. Finally, we will provide a safe and healthy transportation system. There will be buses and a train that connect to each quadrant of our city. The buses and the train will also be electric instead of running on gas or coal.
Our last topic is energy. Energy is needed to do almost everything nowadays. From charging your phone to using a light bulb and heating up food, energy is needed in so many ways. Humans are the only beings on Earth that have created ways to manipulate energy and use it to our advantage. And while Thomas Edison's light bulb is pretty cool, using non-renewable and burn-needing materials to create energy can be extremely harmful to our environment. Air pollution is a huge problem when it comes to burning energy sources like coal and oil. Since non-renewable energy sources are used so often, in fact, 85% of the U.S.'s energy is non-renewable. Taking these resources from the Earth, which has a limited amount of said resources, is very draining to our planet. And not only that, but the way we retrieve these resources like fracking, drilling, mining, mountaintop removal can even be more dangerous to not only the planet, but the people living on it.
We do have a few ideas that we'd also like to mention. In every major store, we will be providing donation bins for food and clothing. We really want to implement helping others in our community. Also, we will be regulating business in order to ensure that they are providing as much good as possible. Next, we will focus on providing bulk stores where people can purchase their foods waste-free. Bulk stores are stores where people can bring in their own containers and purchase their foods like flour, beans, etc. This replaces the need for plastic containers the food usually comes in. Another thing we want to focus on is teaching the youth about the environment and the importance of taking care of it. Finally, we want to have a diverse and accepting community.
To wrap it all up, we will talk about the benefits of this city. First, the city will create a healthy lifestyle for our people. We will have many community programs so people can go out and meet new people. There will also be a lot of job opportunities for our citizens. Lastly, there will be a lot of parks for people to enjoy. Secondly, our city will provide many services. There will be things such as union jobs, EMTs, fire stations, police stations, waste collection, and public transportation. Finally, it is beneficial because it will be community-based, energy-efficient, educational, regulatory, and it will promote healthy living.
We hope you enjoyed the plans for Anagram City. Thank you all for listening and have a wonderful, healthy, and happy day. And remember, traffic sucks.
Take me down to Anagram City where the energy is efficient and the parks are pretty. Oh, would you please pick up plans?